Back in 2004, Cindy and I, along with a gentleman named Marple Riffle from the First Church of God in Talmadge, Ohio, attended an event in nearby Akron that was sponsored by the United Way, and they were recognizing and honoring various volunteer groups. Well, the speaker that night was a man named Millard Fuller, who happened to be the founder of Habitat for Humanity. And that night, Mr. Fuller told a story about their most famous volunteer, former President Jimmy Carter. Here's the story. Back in 1984, Jimmy Carter and his wife Rosalind were on a bus with other Habitat for Humanity volunteers headed to New York. Now understand, no former president of the United States ever has to take a bus again. The Carters could have flown to New York, first class, but they chose to ride on that bus with the other volunteers. They were on their way to the state of New York, where they were going to build a house. And while there, they were going to go to the Metro Park Baptist Church, and that's where all the volunteers were going to sleep that week. When the bus pulled into the church, there was a large banner that said, "Welcome, President Jimmy Carter and all the rest of the volunteers." And when everyone got off of the bus, the pastor gathered them together and he gave them a welcome. And he said something like this: "It is a great honor to have former President Jimmy Carter and his wife Rosalind with us this week, as well as the rest of you volunteers. We are a small church and our facilities are not great, but we do have 2 large rooms. And all the men will be sleeping in one room this week, and all the women will be sleeping in the other room. If you're married, I'm sorry, but you're going to be sleeping in separate quarters this week. We do, however, have one room with a private bath. And this week, we're going to call it our presidential suite. For we have arranged for President Jimmy Carter and Rosalind to stay in that room during this week." When the pastor was done with his speech, Jimmy Carter walked up to him and he said, "Pastor, I want to thank you very much for the offer of that private room. But we happen to have a newlywed couple on the bus with us this week. And we'd like for them to have that room." Carter said, "Rosalind and I have been married for 40 years, and I think we can manage a few nights apart." I love the humility, the selflessness. We would do well to follow that example. Thank you for watching, and be kind.